What's going on, everybody? Thanks so much for tuning in a little earlier today than usual on this channel for a little pregame hit before the Habs take on the Minnesota Wild, the final two games before the Christmas break. Well, the Habs will actually have 5 days off before the next game, which will be against the Carolina Hurricanes on December 28th after the Christmas break, which is nice to see that the guys actually get a good Christmas break. So I'm happy for them in that sense. Let's talk about a few things today in this little video, you guys. Let's talk about the Habs' potential of going on a little win streak here. Now, mind you, the last time the Canadiens played the Minnesota Wild at the Bell Center in Montreal early in October didn't go so well, right? They lost, and Marc-Andre Fleury got a standing ovation, played an amazing game, and could have potentially played his last game in the NHL in the Bell Center, I should say, to be more specific. But he's a threat, if you will. He's always going to be a challenge for the Canadiens. So don't know if he's going to get the start tonight or if it's going to be Philip Gustafsson in net. But for the Canadian side, we know that Sam Montembeault is primed, at least according to Priyanka Emmerth on Twitter, that Sam Montembeault should be primed to get the start. And then my guess is that Caden Primo will get the start against Chicago tomorrow. So that's kind of my feeling on it right now. Will we see Emil Heineman make his NHL debut on this road trip? I suspect we will at some point. Will it be against the Minnesota Wild or Chicago Blackhawks before the Christmas break? We don't know just yet. We may know as early as today. So if you're watching this video and you've already found out that Emil Heineman is going to be in the lineup making his Canadiens and NHL debut, you comment down below and let me know. And tell me how much you're looking forward to seeing him play for the first time, seeing what he can do. You have to think that who's going to come out of the lineup. I mean, it always seems like Michael Pezzetta is the odd man out for the Canadiens in some way, and he's played okay. I mean, I don't think we've seen anything. He doesn't get a lot of ice time either, so it's hard to judge his play. But I know that some of you guys still want to see Jesse Ullinen get a promotion because he's got talent, and more people are recognizing that and seeing that he's got more potential than he lets on. He's not just a fourth line guy, maybe, right? But he has been bumped up to the third line in the past. And if the Canadiens lineup remains the same as it was the other night at the Bell Center for their final home game against, my gosh, who was it now? I have to pull it up here. Josh Anderson had his most amazing game of the season. I shouldn't say amazing necessarily. He's been playing really well of late. But in terms of statistically, so the Habs beat the Winnipeg Jets, actually, the other night. And it was actually against the Islanders that Josh had a great game. But then he scored again against the Jets, right? So that was fun to watch. And just for the Habs to take it to Winnipeg at the time, even though Kyle Connor was out of the lineup, we know. So there was an advantage there in that sense. But the Canadiens are playing better. And it's also because, as Eric Engels wrote in his recent article too, they're trying to change the look of the power play. And I think the noise around Alex Burrows has really quieted a bit because we've seen better production from the power play late from the Canadiens, right? So in that sense, it's good. And also, I appreciated how we did win in Winnipeg in overtime on the power play. And I appreciate it because we haven't seemed to have been able to finish teams in overtime on the 4-on-3 whenever we get the opportunity. It just always seems like we just can't make that perfect play, and then we just don't get enough good quality shots on net. And the way that they use Cole Caulfield on the power play, the guy can pass the puck. He's not just a shooter. So it's perfect in order to try to deceive teams into thinking that Caulfield's going to shoot when he can just as easily make a very good skilled pass to an open guy. Justin Barron did it the other night to finish off the Winnipeg Jets. My buddy Justin Barron, we're friends. Did you know that? Did you know? Did you know? If you know, you know. Anyways, so we'll see if the Canadiens power play can continue to develop and remain productive, at least on a semi-consistent basis, more than we've seen in the past, right? So can the Habs go on a little bit of a winning streak here, though, right? Can they keep it going here? They're already got 2 wins in a row. Can they make it 3 against the Minnesota Wild? If they do, given that the Chicago Blackhawks are not very good, they're at the bottom of the league this year, again, can they find a way to put together a 3, 4, maybe 5-game winning streak here? Can they do it? Even the Carolina Hurricanes have had their struggles, right? So it's not impossible, but it all starts tonight. It all starts tonight with the Minnesota Wild and how they come out against them. The Minnesota Wild have a very talented roster also, and it actually reminded me when I saw Marco Rossi on the roster for the Minnesota Wild that I actually interviewed Rossi when he was here in Niagara playing the Ice Dogs with the Ottawa 67s a few years ago. Really nice kid. It was his draft year. It was a fun interview with him, and then the audio did not work, so I couldn't even post that at the time. I don't even think my channel was up and running yet. But regardless, Joel Eriksson Ek on the top line with Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov, I should say. He's always deadly, always a threat. And if you don't have him in your hockey pool, I do. but he never disappoints. Let's just put it that way. And then Marco Rossi is actually centering the second line with Marcus Foligno and Ryan Hartman, and Frederick Gaudreau on the third line center with Marcus Johansson on the left, and Pat Maroon, veteran Pat Maroon on the right, and Connor Dewar, Vinny Lettieri, and Brandon Duheim on the fourth line for the Minnesota Wild. And then you've got Jacob Middleton, Brock Faber on the top pairing for the Minnesota Wild, Alex Goligoski, Zach Bogosian, remember him? Zach Bogosian, Stanley Cup winner with the Tampa Bay Lightning. John Merrill, remember him? Former Montreal Canadian. And I should come up with a segment called Remember Him. Damon Hunt. And then we'll see Damon Hunt's the other pairing with John Merrill on the third pair of defense. And then we'll see if Marc-Andre Fleury gets the start. I imagine he might over Philip Gustafsson, but we'll certainly see. And, I mentioned this also, or I want to mention this also. I'm going to talk about it more thoroughly in another video. But the World Junior Tournament, all right, guys, we got big time eyes on Owen Beck. May get the captaincy. He's definitely going to get an A, I think, with Team Canada. And we already know that Lane Hutson has got an A to be an alternate captain with the Team USA. Why did I have such a pause there? Could I not remember that? I'm just trying to rush through this before work here, but yeah, Lane Hutson gets an A to be an alternate captain for Team USA at the World Juniors. We'll see what leadership group comes about for Team Canada. Owen Beck, I suspect, will be part of that leadership group. He's a natural leader. We'll see how he steps into this bigger role with Team Canada that he wants to have this year. And also, we got eyes on Jacob Fowler for Team USA, seeing how much he pushes for a starting role with Team USA and just really how many starts he's going to get. And also, big time for me is Philip Machar with Team Slovakia. Slovakia almost upset Canada. They got close to upsetting Canada last year in the World Juniors, and Philip Machar helped tie the game in the quarterfinals for Team Slovakia versus Team Canada, and made the Canadians a little nervous there, I think. So regardless, we're going to keep an eye on these four guys. We're going to talk about them in a separate video, but I just wanted to do this quick little video with you guys. If the lineup does not change for the Canadians, we've still got Slavkovsky on that top line with Nick and Cole, Jake Evans with Josh Anderson and Sean Monahan. That line's been working pretty well. Christian Dvorak, Brendan Gallagher, and Yoel Armia, I think, has been a bit of a pleasant surprise. And we've kind of seen the old Yoel Armia kind of come back and, keep puck possession and, fight along the walls and hold on to the puck. He's a good puck possession player. And then Mitchell Stevens remains the Canadians on center with Jesse Ullinen and Michael Pezzetta on the fourth line. Or maybe we'll see Ullinen get moved up. We don't know. On the top pairing for the Canadians, Mike Matheson, David Savard, a solid pair, of course. Caden Gooley, Justin Barron on the second pair. And then Jaden Struble, who's been solid. All the power to Jaden Struble. He's got to keep it going because he's playing fantastic lately. And then Jonathan Kovacevic on his right. So Sam Montembeault likely to get the start, and then Caden Primo, I would think, tomorrow in Chicago. We'll see you guys after the game tonight or first thing in the morning tomorrow. You know how I roll on the channel here. So a couple games before Christmas, and then we all got a nice break to enjoy. So we'll see you soon, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon. Cheers, guys.